here. Short notice lahat. Kasi originally we have invited somebody again, cancel at the last minute, whose name deserves no mention at all. Anyway, we're happy that we are able to bring together a group, three very important people who can share with us today the hottest topic of the day on the just approved increase in the monthly pension hike of SSS members. Retirees. And on the other hand, it will mean additional premium contributions to us na active paying members ng SSS. Without further ado, we will ask first our main guest. I will introduce first our guest pala. Beside me is Alan Tanhusay from the Associated Labor Union, President, spokesperson. But, he always emails me daily yata email sa akin ni Alan, pasipag ko na spokesperson. And to the center of the controversy, not controversy but good news and bad news as well, Ms. Marisol Bugante, Vice President for Public Affairs of SSS. And to my extreme right, a self-confessed SSS retiree and GSIS private businessman. Previously, he was the cabinet and former congressman from Nueva Ecija, and now he's into a lot of consultancy services. Secretary, Congressman, or Mr. Renato Diaz. Okay. As we do in our breakfast forum, we ask our guests to give their opening statements. So, ladies first, Madam Susie, ikaw muna. Open and ma'am.
Okay, good morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Susie Bugante from the Social Security System. We're happy to inform you that the President has approved the 2,000 pension increase effective the first tranche of 1,000 effective this month, January 2017. And together with that also is an increase in adjustment in our rate of contribution from 11%, it will be 12.5% effective May. And the salary subject to Social Security contribution also will go up to 20,000, which is the maximum salary credit. So that would mean that our members will now be able to enjoy higher benefits because the basis of the computation of their salary has also gone up. So that is the good news that we have today for you.
Alan?
For the labor. Good morning. I prepared this short statement from Associated Labor Unions, UCP. Good morning. We welcome this move as it is an answer to the promise made to our pensioners during the campaign of President Duterte. However, we feel that government should have fixed the system first before requiring new contributions. Dapat nag-reforma muna ang SSS bago bawasan na naman ng sweldo ang mga magagawa. SSS reform should be 1. Trimming down SSS bureaucracy. Number 2, reasonable pay for SSS commissioners, not fat bonuses. Bawasan ang mga unnecessary na biyahe abroad. Bawasan ang mga luxury na service vehicles. Improve collection efficiency. Stop corruption in SSS. Kasi marami po kaming reports coming from our union members na companies will enroll and remit once or twice and only remit again if there are claims or cases that there are no complete remittances despite regular deductions from workers' pay. And number 5, what has been done to companies with findings on non-remittances? We have many members that their companies are not remitting. So, in essence, in summary, ang aming pong posisyon sa LUPUCP ay hanggat maaari po ay wag po sana nating ikarga sa mga manggagawa na naman itong SSS increase pension. Welcome po namin ito dahil isa ito sa mga inilapit natin kay Pangulong Duterte. Ngunit ang hinihiling po namin, bago po sana tayo pumunta doon sa pagkaltas ng sweldo sa mga manggagawa, dapat ay unahin po muna natin yung mga reforma sa loob ng SSS bago po tayo kumalta sa bawas sweldo ng mga manggagawa. So maraming salamat po.
Okay, it will deserve a rebuttal later.
Thank you for having this opportunity to represent partly the retired sector because I will benefit directly from this. I can also talk for the business sector because I am consulting with a lot of investors and existing companies. I can also see the point of view of the government because I have been with the cabinet during the time of President DMA for 7 years. I was a member of Congress during the time of FDR for 8 years. Simple lang naman ang problema eh. Maraming pangangailangan yung mga retirees like me. Ako nagtatrabaho pa, pero lahat ng, pag nagre-reunion kami, 90% of my compatriots are just depending on their retirement. I agree with your point, but unfortunately, we don't have the luxury of making this as a condition to make the system work. If the system fails, sinong tatamaan? Tayong lahat. Okay. Itong makukuhang extra came from the past contributions. So kaming mga senior, kami ang maraming nailagay dito sa sistema. So it's really long overdue. 1,000, 2,000, even more. I think we have to understand the point of view ng government naman. The system must not fail. Tama rin si Pangulong Duterte, bakit yung pera ng taong bayan itutulong mo sa trust fund? That is essentially private. Kung may pera ng taong bayan, itulong mo sa government sector, sa mga opisyal, sa armed forces, may problema yung mga retirement program yan. But I agree with you, it's a wake-up call for SSS. But from the point of view of the present officials and the incoming officials, they have to learn and cure the problems of yesterday. So given that principle, siguro ang pag-usapan natin, tama yung pagtataas ng pensyon because the cost of living is going up, these people have no income. Walang pagkukunan yung retirement fund kundi dalawang bagay. Increase the income from the entire retirement pool and get additional contribution from the labor. Kasi pag hindi nyo sinafeguard yan, yung pag-retire in the future ang biktima. Kasi according to their computations, aaga yung mahuhubos yung pondo. So ang mabibiktima will come 10, 20 years from now. So this is really the hard decision of anybody in government. Short term, long term. So that's, I think, the perspective we should look at.
Okay. Meron agad alay si Miss Susie Bugante. So, magtutusa ka, mag-isa ka ngayon? Tayo, di ba tayo? Okay, Miss Susie Bugante.
Una gusto ko lang ilagay sa tamang
Yes, ma'am.
yung ating ang ating social security.
Yes, ma'am.
Kasi nga ang ating social security reform agenda ay continuing ho yan. It has been going on for several years. Nabanggit ko nga kay Tata Jo, nandito pa siya, na kung titingnan ho natin ang batas natin sa Social Security, from the very start, meron siyang congenital defect.
Ano yan? RA 8282?
No, the RA 1161, yung original.
Charter 1161.
Natin. Oo. Hindi kasi, nang nagsimula tayo, syempre meron ng international standards. Meron tayong tinatawag na ILO Convention 102 kung saan nakalatag lahat ng mga social security benefits at hindi naman lahat yon ay nakayanan ng ating bansa na i-adapt kasi it also is a function of the economy. Kung ano yung kahandaan ng ating ekonomiya. So, In fact nga, nung nagsimula ang SSS, merong unemployment benefit eh. 1954, pinirmahan po yan ni Ramon Magsaysay yung batas. Na wala yan kasi protesta ang mga employer, protesta ang mga manggagawa dahil hindi ayaw nilang balikatin yung contribution para doon. So, it took 3 more years before the law was actually implemented in 1957, at it had to be amended before it could be implemented. So, the amended law was 1161. No? So, yun yung pinirmahan ni President Garcia already at okay. So, kaya na in-implement ang batas, yun, ang contribution rate, we started at 6%. Kung titingnan mo natin, ang kakambal natin na bansa was Egypt. That's also almost the same design.
Of how many yung workers nun? 6%?
No, 6%, hindi ko alam kung ano yung population at that time, in late 1950s. So, yun po yung, ngayon ang Egypt, 40%, I think, o 30 or 40% na ang rate ng contribution. While SSS, for the longest time, was pegged at 6%, and then in 1979, President Marcos approved raising it to 7.4, naging 7.4, then gradually increased to 8.4 for the longest time, for more than 20 years, it was 8.4. It was only in 2003 when it was raised by 1 percentage point to 9.4%, no? And ang nagbitbit nung 1% na yan was the employer sector. Hindi nga nagdagdag ang wala nga dagdag sa labor no, sa mga manggagawa. And another 1 percentage point increase in 2007, ito yung panahon ni President Arroyo, because President Arroyo really she's an economist and she understands kung ano yung problema talaga ng Social Security. Kailangan mo talaga i-adjust yung rate ng contribution kasi talagang napakababa. Kung i-compare natin with other Social Security institutions in the country like GSIS, GSIS is charging 21% of your actual salary. Yung share ng employee is 9%, share ng employer is 12%. So,
that is government.
Government. At yan pa ang kagandahan sa GSIS, isa lang ang kausap ng employer. Wala na siya, hindi siya naghahabol ng libo-libong employer na hindi nagbabayad.
Diba? Pag sinabi mo government, tayo lahat, taxpayers. So kami nagsasubsidize sa inyo mga government employees.
Well, actually, kasi duty naman talaga ng state to provide social security sa mga citizens nito. Dahil,
unfair naman kami sa SSS, 34 million members kami, ba't kami di sinasubsidize ng government?
Yun. So, meron tayo sa batas na nakalagay that in case hindi na kaya ng pondo, the government may sovereign guarantee, pwede yun pumasok. Pero, in any of these actions talaga, kailangan, it affects the economy, So, it's not just as simple as that, mag-subsidize ka, ganyan. Parang yan ang last resort natin. Kung kakayanin pa naman ng pondo, kaya sana ideally nga sana yung ating social security program ay dapat iisa lang. Like in other countries, like
tayo dalawa.
Tayo kasi marami iba-iba. Sa healthcare, ito. Sa ito, diba?
So, PhilHealth kasi iniwala sa SSS, originally sa SSS yan, diba?
It was a separate program but we managed it for the private sector worker. Ganon. Tapos ang GSIS managed it for the employees of government, no? Pero yung yung portion ng GSIS for the longest time was nalulugi kasi dami daw yata nag-claim, something like that, So, ang nangyari, nagkaroon tuloy ng batas creating PhilHealth in 1987. So, yun po yun, ang 84 or 87, in the 80s, no? So going back to my story, ang nangyari ngayon, in 2014, the last increase was in 2014 from 10.4, kasi umakyat na siya sa 10.4 ang ating rate of contribution, naging 11%. Meron tayong 0.6% na increase in
administration.
effective 2014 At happy ang employer and employed doon sa point 6 na yan. So, naging point 3. Kung titingnan natin, napakababa lang ang increase per capita, no? Sabihin, 45 pesos sa share ng employee, 45 pesos sa share ng employer based on the maximum salary credit at that time. Sinasabi nga namin, dapat ang pagtingin natin sa contribution ay hindi gastos. Ito ay savings
for the
natin.
future.
Kung titingnan natin sa mga manggagawa, lalo na sa mga ang tawag dito, minimum wage earners, ang ano lang talaga nila, ang savings lang talaga nila, SSS eh. Or savings, pag-ibig, SSS. Yun lang. Kung sa sarili nila, para makapag-ipon sila, meron silang bank account, bihira yan. Pero kadalasan, dahil meron kang for savings, meron kang naitatabi. So like pag-ibig is a provident fund. No? So when you whatever you put in there is what you get in the future para may individual account ka. In SSS, this is not a provident fund. It is a defined benefit scheme na kung saan kahit na maliit lang ang contribution mo, no, meron tayong mga cross-subsidies within, yung mga intergenerational, the young, subsidize the old, the sick, are being subsidized by the able-bodied, ganon. Tapos yung within the system, may ganong klaseng cross-subsidy, no? So yung iniipon mo, nakapool yan. Hindi lahat kayo may-ari kayo niyan. Hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, akin lang ito. Dahil pera ko to, utangin ko, hindi ko babayaran. Pwede. Hindi. Kasi when you do that, all the other members who have a stake in that fund are also affected. So, nag-jeopardize yung pondo nila.
Okay, so, problema ng SSS, yung mga uncollected, di ba, mga uncollected remittances, uncollected debt,
it's really a big challenge for us. Kasi like I said, unlike GSIS, isa lang ang employer na kausap. Kami, we have almost 1 million employers in our,
small, medium, and large.
Yes, lahat
ba yan? Mga self-employed ba?
At saka marami dyan, pagka magsasara, magbubukas, hindi naman pinapaalam. Mga ganon. So that's why malaking bagay na katulong namin, halimbawa, ang labor sector. Kaya palagi kaming may dialogue with them because they can help us. This is really a tripartite body. You have management, you have the government, you have the labor sector. Dapat nagtutulungan.
Di ba sa SSS board, represented dyan mga yan?
Yes, that's right.
Wala na daw?
Meron din naman. Meron din naman. Maybe not in the traditional labor groups.
Ngayon.
Kasi like for many years, palaging UCP, ganyan.
So ngayon, present board? Composition?
Ngayon, meron ding labor sector, meron ding management sector, pero hindi siya yung traditional organized labor.
How many members ng board? 9?
There are 9.
Oo, tatanda ko 9 eh. Tatlo sa labor, tatlo sa management.
Yes. Tatlo sa employer group, isang yung Department of Labor Secretary, siya, member siya, tapos yung President, yung Chief Executive Officer ng SSS, then one public sector.
Can you give us names ng mga
I'm sorry kasi marami pang mga bago, hindi ko pa sila memorize. Later I can give you that. So yung point ko lang, yung sinabi ni Adam earlier, na dagdag gastos, dagdag savings. Dapat ang tingnan natin, dagdag savings ito dahil pag mataas ang sinisave mo, malaki din ang makukuha mong benepisyo. That's one. Number 2, yung sinasabi niyang matataas na bonus, wala ho kaming binigay na bonus na hindi in accordance with the law.
Yung panahon ni Noy yan, kasi nagbawalan ni Duterte, may directive siya na 40,000 lang yata yung cap.
Actually, that 40,000 amount has been there because of the law.
GOCC.
Yes, the GCG
law.
So, 2011 yan.
Yung mga bonuses yung previous nila, Dikiros.
No, ano yun? Actually, I'm sorry to say, pero that was exaggerated.
Okay.
Hindi namin alam kung saan nila kinuha yung figures na yan.
So, yung Guild of Congress na really lumabas yan eh.
And hindi namin alam kung anong naging basis nila. In fact, meron pang nag-post ng mga sweldo daw namin na kasama yung...
Nasama pa pangalan mo?
Kasama yung contribution namin sa GSIS. Ganito ha, if you are a GSI, kayo po, naging government employee kayo, yung share ba ng employer ninyo, whatever unit is that, kailangan na contribution mo sa GSIS, counted ba yan as your income?
Hindi,
Hindi ba
syempre.
statutory obligation yan nung iyong employer na dapat ihulog ka ng ganitong amount para sa hindi yan
So kayo, GSIS members kayo?
GSIS members kami.
GSIS.
So tapos yung mga share ng gobyerno na binabayad, halimbawa sa GSIS, sa pag-ibig, sa PhilHealth, lahat yun sinama sa income namin. Kaya ganun yan, parang, ganun ba yun? Tama ba yun? Parang hindi tama. So, mali yung nakalagay na mga, hindi na namin sinugot kasi it's a highly emotional.
There was misinformation really of that. Natanong ko lang, Juicy, details lang. Kanina, napakinggan ko si Emmanuel Do, Presidente ng SSS, na yung 1,000 across the board increase effective this month, starting this month, kasama yun yung mga survivors.
Yes.
Kasi mami ko, she receives right now 3,300 something.
Yeah.
So tatatanggap siya plus 1,
Yes.
4,000 na yun.
Correct.
Ang tanong ngayon, hindi na itanong sa DCRS kanina. How about yung dependents? Kasi natatanda ko yung mga anak ko until 21, age 21. They receive a certain
So
amount.
magkakaroon din ng adjustment.
Pero hindi 1,000.
No, kasi percentage of the basic pension.
Ayun, tataas yun.
Yes,
How
tataas yun.
much?
Hindi, kasi kunwari, ang basic pension now will be 3,000. Ang bawat lang.
Dahil increase.
Oh, tapos ang nakalagay kasi doon, bawat dependent child
Ay, before age 21, di ba?
will get 10% of the basic pension or 250 per child, whichever is higher.
Oo.
So, 10% is higher kasi 300 yun.
Oo.
Diba? So, 10% of 3,000.
Oo.
Ganun yan.
So, tataas sila.
Tataas din.
According to the...
Yes.
Okay.
Ganun yan. So, lahat, total disability, basta disability pensioner, death pensioner, death benefit pensioner,
Ang tawag doon, death benefit
oo,
pensioners.
or survivor. Survivorship.
Survivors.
At saka retirement pensioner, lahat yun. Ay
Across the board, 1,000. As I understood it, first chance lang to. Pag nag-improve ang finances ng SSS, within the term of Duterte up to 2022, maaaring umabot ng 2,000. I-spread out yung the rest, yung 1,000 na promise. Kasi 2,000 yun, di ba?
Yes.
Pero-
Pero ang ano kasi, if you recall, yung naging advice ng mga economic managers, they were saying talagang ayaw nila na i-implement sana ito without the corresponding 6 percentage point increase in the contribution rate. So
Ideally yun, ideally sabi nila.
but that is the solution para hindi na mag-step in yung government.
Oo, yung subsidy
At saka
na.
ma-maintain mo pa yung life ng pondo to 25 years.
Oo.
Kasi ang magiging epekto nung pag-implement ng 2,000 without any adjustment in the contribution, aabot na lang maximum of 13 years ang buhay ng
Oo,
SSS.
oo.
So right now, it's 2042. That's the lifespan.
Oo, because of-
Fund. Oo. So ngayon kung nag-implement ka this year, the first year that you will require 64 billion additional
Itong
funds.
1,000 na to?
No, for that 2,000.
Hindi,
So
so
1,000, that's 34.
34, oh.
32 rather.
32.
32 billion. Oo.
This year.
32.
Okay. Nagtataas ang kamay si Secretary.
Kasi tama yung computation, but being a finance person, depende yan sa assumption ninyo. Okay? Ang panggagalingan ng pambayad sa income, pagpasok ng pera, and widening the base. Anong assumption ng SSS? Kung 40% lang, tama ba yung figure ang nagbabayad? Meron ba kayong projection as part of that computation? What's your target increase? Is it 40%? Is it 5% incremental per year? O static yung 40? That's the first question.
Well, meron kaming projection on our collection, na contribution collection.
I'm talking about the members paying. Kasi pag nagbayad na yung member, huli mo na eh. Pero kung totoo yung numero, na 60% hindi covered ng plan, dapat magbayad, hindi nagbabayad. Pag hindi nyo nahuli yun, kawawa yung 40 because sila ang nagdadala ng burden. So I think from the point of view of labor, ang valid question dyan, ano ang fighting target ng SSS to increase the 40% membership na nagbabayad per year? Is it going to be static at 40? Then talagang may problema tayo. So yun ang isang tanong ng taong bayan.
Well, it's not that easy kasi isipin natin, sa bawat miyembro na nako-cover ng SSS, nadadagdagan yung ating liability. So right now, we have 34 million registered members. And out of the 34 million, 14 million are currently paying. But all of them are already paid. Yes. Why? Because if you look at our economy, based on ILO study and World Bank study, ang ating ekonomiya, 65% ay informal sector workers. So ano yun? Ito yung mga self-employed. Yung mga tindero, tindera, ganyan, 65%. So tingnan nyo nga, ang labor sector, ang labor, organized labor, wala pang 10% ng ating employed sector. Ang nasa organized labor, ganun lang sila kakonti. Kasi kung titingnan natin, the bulk of the members of SSS who are currently paying right now are in the employed sector. So kung titingnan, pero nakapag-register kami more than 5 million, about 6 million self-employed, tapos meron mga voluntary OFWs. Hindi naman ang OFW, hindi naman mandatory. Hindi sila mandatory. Right now, they're just voluntary.
Teka ma'am, you need to say 34 million registered SSS members, but only 14 million are paying.
Currently, at the moment.
And 20 million?
20 million, either they are now unemployed, they have gone abroad, they are seasonal workers, so mamaya-maya, babalik ulit yan. Mga ganon.
My God, no wonder you're the guy straight. Yan ang sinasabi mo 40%? O si Alan?
Kaya nga po, Marisu, yung isang panawagan namin, bago tayo pumunta doon sa manggagawa para singilin sila doon, pumunta muna tayo dito sa SSS at magsagawa ng internal reforms, ipatupad yung mga pagbabago sa loob. Dahil, kita mo naman, out of 34 million members, only 14 are paying.
Ayun lang yun.
Isang aspeto lang yun, no? Wala pa yung mga
Para withholding tax.
wala pa yung mga bonuses at yung mga iba pang mga operational expenses na dapat bawasan. So, ang aming panawagan dito, welcome namin na merong SSS English pension. Gusto namin yun eh.
Of course.
But, sa tingin namin na medyo bad timing siya kasi yung
IQ mean,
yes, kasi ang kasalukuyan, ang minimum wage, bumababa ang value. Ang kanyang value, ang value ng 491 minimum wage ngayon, na pinakamataas, ang value niya ay is around 360 pesos na lamang. Ikalawa,
ang minimum wage na yun?
491.
491. Pero ang bayad, ang value
niya, ang purchasing power niya is around 360 pesos na lamang.
Okay.
Wala pa yung kaltas, ha? Wala pa yung kaltas sa SSS Pag-ibig. Pagkatapos, may nakaambang dagdag singil sa kuryente. Dagdag singil, dagdag gastos sa kuryente, sa tubig.
Wala dyan.
So, iniisip namin, maganda nga na mayroong contribution dapat yung mga member ng SSS dito. Ngunit sa tingin namin ay dapat baguhin muna natin yung mga pagbabago sa loob ng SSS para makatipid.
Napakinggan ko yung press conference ako sa Malacanang, si President Dook na and Chairman Amado Valdez. Ang sinasabi nila, pag-aaralan pa ng SSS yung higher monthly contributions. By May estimate na pang-implement yun na 1.5 additional. Pero, meron silang kulatila. But by that time na siguro by May, nakakita na sila ng mga other ways to compensate for the increase through yung collection efficiency, going after yung mga non-remitting employers. Baka bumaba pa either bumaba pa yun o hindi na ipasa.
Kasi yung plano talaga, as mentioned in the press con yesterday, meron niyang series, kasi nga sabi ko nga 6 percentage point. And hindi siya bigla, gradual, over time. So yearly, ganon. But ang nabanggit ni Chairman kahapon, yung mga subsequent na increases na 1.5 might not be done anymore if we are able to maximize our income from investments and other measures. Okay. Now, ito nga, gusto ko lang sana ma-appreciate din po ninyo. Kasi, ang sinasabi ni Alan kanina, bawasan ang number of employees. Alam nyo, we are only a 6,000 strong institution.
All over the
serving
Philippines.
all over the Philippines and some posts abroad. No, kasi sinasabi siya natin yung OFWs. Ngayon, isa lang naman yun, yung mga tao namin sa consulate or sa embassy naman nag-opisina yun. Ngayon, ang ano dyan, sa ngayon, nagre-reklamo ang ating mga miyembro pag pumunta sila sa opisina ng SSS pagkahaba ng pila. Bakit? Kasi limited yung ating counters. Hindi ka naman pwedeng magdagdag ng counters na walang tao. So, kailangan tauhan mo yan.
Tsaka walang break, di ba? May lunch break.
So, ngayon, ang gusto natin magbukas ng karagdagang mga branches din para hindi na
meron ba kayo sa malls?
Meron kami sa mga malls.
Okay.
Pero ang aming mga opisina sa malls, these are just service offices. Ang tao namin dyan, 3.
Ano ginagawa nila doon?
Tumatanggap, nagbibigay ng funds, ganyan, nagka-counseling, ganyan.
Walang processing.
Walang processing, ganon. Kasi that's the...
Sa main pa rin, sa main.
Sa ano pa rin, kung ano yung branch na pinakamalapit. So, halimbawa, ang mall dito sa Robinson, Manila, halimbawa, ang pinakamalapit na office namin, yung...
Sa Manila? Roseros.
Oo, dyan sa may...
Roseros. Nakapunta na ako dyan.
Oo, yan, tama. Oo, yan, dyan. So, yan ang ano nila, parang pinaka-office nila.
Ay, bakit ba modern na tayo? May pwede ng computer na lang.
Exactly. So, isa yan sa mga efforts namin na talagang we make available electronic means of transacting with us. So, imbis na pumunta ka pa sa opisina ng SSS para kumuha ng SSS number, just go to our website. You can already get your SSS number. You will be issued online.
Okay.
Tapos yung mga miyembro namin, sinasabi namin, mag-register kayo sa aming my.sss facility sa aming website. And you can access your own record. Hindi ka na kailangang pumunta pa sa office namin para humingi ng contribution record ko, nagbabayad ba yung employer ko. Ikaw mismo, pwede mong bantayan buwan-buwan kung mapasok yung huli mo. And then you can apply for maternity,
online.
Notification online.
Okay.
You can apply for salary loans online. If your employer is also registered with us, then they approve it online. 3 days po ang cheque, pwede na ilabas. Ganun ang process. So we are trying to do that for as many members as possible, including the use of your cell phone to transact with us. Kasi nakikita namin, karamihan ng mga member namin, hindi naman sila mayayaman. Na merong mga internet connection palagi, di ba? Pero at least, kahit through text, they can transact with us. They can also access their own record. Mag-query sila kung ilan na ba ang hulog ko sa isang number 2600, meron kaming ganun lang, mag-register lang din. So, all this means, we are making available for our members. Kasi nga, humanly impossible na for us to attend to millions of members every day. Ang amin pong average transaction araw-araw, 180,000.
Wow.
Sa loob ng
sa main lang yan, ha? Sa main.
Yeah, sa ano yan? Lahat lang.
Okay, 180,000 transactions a day.
Average yan, so it can be more. Hindi less. Pero yun po.
8-hour work yan, di ba? Hindi
8
naman.
hours. So, hindi pa nabibilang yan na meron kaming 24 hours call center.
May call center din kayo?
Yes, may call center.
Anong call number nyo?
920-6446 hanggang 55. Tapos merong toll-free number. Pwede din nilang tawagan. So, yung mga nasa...
Ano yung toll-free number? The same number?
Magkaiba nakalimutan ko lang.
May rejoinder daw si Mr. Diaz.
Okay talaga yun. But again, I'm going back to, ang hanap natin dito, solusyon. Okay? Ang solusyon yun talaga, go after the 60%. So that's, I think, what the public wants to see.
Both employees and employers yan.
Yes. Ano ang programa ng bagong SSS group to chase the 60 in fairness to labor? Okay, number 1.
And employers as well.
Sabi nyo, hindi dalawang bagay pa yan. Baka tinatanggalan yung employee, hindi nire-remit. Pareho yan sa, kahit sa withholding tax, yung problema. So, ano ang programa ng SSS dito? It might not be here, but I think you have to focus on that para sagot sa taong bayan. Pangalawang bagay, a fund is kailangan may income yan. Kasi meron kayong
investments na nila.
Investment. So, ang tanong na naman dito, nagka-problema sila dahil nung araw, madali, lagay mo lang sa government securities. Mataas yung interest.
Dahil yun ang pinaka-safe.
Ang government T-bills, magkano rin? Ang baba.
1
diba?
point something.
1 point something. Magkano expected growth ng actuarial ninyo? So, would you know, what is your projected break-even for your fund to be able to service your member?
Well, tama po yan. These are really concerns na kaya nga kahapon na announced din Chairman Valdez na we will really crack down on airing employers. So yan. And we've been doing that. Nag-file na kami ng mga kaso sa mga companies. At marami na rin kami na-publish na namin sa dyaryo yung mga kinasuhan namin. Pero of course, hindi pa rin enough yan. Kasi ang pag-file ng kaso, nagdidepend ka din sa i-report sa'yo eh. Hindi ka lang pwedeng basta ka na lang humabol na gano'n, You have to really get the evidences also needed.
We should simplify the process. Kasi ginagawa ng BIR ngayon, pag hindi ka ganito, wala kang business permit. Pag hindi kayo makapag-usap sa local government, na pag yung kumpanya naka-register sa kanila, make it a prerequisite na they are current with your contribution also, or else they cannot renew the permit.
Yes.
Number 1.
Yes.
Number 2, meron kayong website or meron kayong ask the members, laborer, employee, mag-check ka, nagre-remit ba yung employer ko? So you should have a current and the past due status. Kasi then organized labor can lobby. So ang magiging problema nito, pareho rin sa taxation. What do you do for the small, medium-scale companies and the self-employed and the OFW?
Yeah. So tama po yan. Meron po kaming agreement with the DILG that all LGUs will not give any business permit or renew business permits if they don't have a clearance from SSS.
Okay.
A requirement yan.
Ano ang commitment ng labor?
Well, ang commitment ng labor ay siyempre magiging patuloy yung aming vigilance at makikipagpatuloy ang aming social dialogue with SSS at magpapatuloy po kami sa labi kay Pangulong Duterte dahil bukod dun sa SSS reforms na nilalabi namin sa kanya, pwede rin gawin ng Pangulo na utusan niya yung mga kumpanya at gawing regular workers, yung mga contractual. Para yung mga endo at gawing regular para madagdagan yung pondo ng SSS, no? Ay kalawang solution namin, aside from SSS reforms, contractualized workers gawing regular, yung ikatatlo ay nilalabi namin sa kay Pangulong Duterte, yung subsidy ng gobyerno. O sa SSS, bigyang pondo pa naman pansamantala yung SSS para naman maayos yung fund reserve ng system.
Ano ko lang, una yung tungkol dun sa subsidy, sa ibang bansa, meron yan, dahil ang social security program nila ay isa for all workers. Karamihan,
For both government and private.
Karamihan gano'n.
For
So,
both government.
although meron ding mga bansa like France, for example, ang dami-dami nilang social security institutions kasi iba-ibang sektor, parang gano'n, pero kalimitan ay isa for everyone, like in the US. Number 1. Number 2, ang kanilang social security program naka-index against inflation. Kaya napipreserve mo yung value ng iyong hinuhulog. Tayo hindi. Hindi naka-index. So, ang dami-daming dapat reforma na dapat gawin. Structural design ng ating programa, kailangan puunan ng pansin. At yan ang hinihingi namin tulong sana sa Kongreso. Na sana sa halip na, did you know that there are more than 15 bills that they filed raising the pension to so much without even the benefit of any actuarial study on
That
that
was
part?
the previous or present?
In the present.
Ang present 15 pa rin.
Mahigit 15.
Ay, dalawa na forward kay Presidente, kay Gordon, tsaka yung sa House.
Actually, na kasi yun, parang nagkasundo na sila. So, they also agreed with us kasi kinausap sila ng aming chairman, pati ng iba pang members ng commission, na huwag nang isa batas, kailangan, kasi yung mga ganyan hindi nile-legislate, kasi depende yung sa ng
Kasi nasa charter nyo na the executive.
Yes,
Executive has the powers.
Gawin na lang resolution. At pumayag naman sila na gawin, in fairness to Congress, both lower and upper house of Congress, pumayag naman sila, nagkasundo sila na ganito, and on our part, we will also do this.
Napakinggan ko nga si Chairman Valdez. He is asking the help of Congress for the institution of reforms. Do you have any idea ano yung proposed reforms na yun? O bill na diadraft na?
Yeah, for example,
Tsaka sino maging sponsor o author?
For example, yung pag-condone ng penalties on contributions, on late payment of contributions.
Magkano ba
The
penalty?
power rests in Congress.
Ganon.
So the penalty is 3% per month of delay. So that's 36% per annum.
Okay.
Compounded pa yan, depende kung gaano katagal kayo na hindi
Pero
nagbabayad.
Congress lang pwede mag-condone.
That is now in the law, no? That's in the law. So what we're saying is, give that authority to the commission so that para kasi ma-encourage mo din yung mga companies na magbayad ng kanilang utang, yung mga principal, na mas madali kasi yung nako-condone na yung penalties, ganon. So, ang ano kasi, we have to accept the fact na hindi naman lahat ng companies ang intention nila, gusto nilang nakawin yung hulog ng kanilang employees. Talagang meron talaga hirap lang. Hirap sila. So we also understand that. Kaya ang aming role sa SSS, binabalanse natin, we have to do a balancing act with the interest of the labor, interest of the management, ganyan, na tapos, na sana pagka merong gustong magbayad, mag-settle na kami ng utang namin, hindi kami nakahulog ng ganitong habang panahon, pero naman sana tanggalin nyo naman yung penalties, parang gano'n. Wala kami poder para gawin yan. We have to go to Congress to do that. And it takes Congress 10 years before it can be passed.
I agree. Kasi what many people don't realize is even the president cannot condone. Hindi pwedeng patawarin. Makukulong siya. COA cannot authorize. It has to be based on law. So I think as part of the menu of solutions, that should give flexibility to management. Now, what I'd like to point out also, in fairness to the retirement funds, nung araw, sabi ko nga, kung yung actuarial study nyo, kailangan ng income is what? 7-8% per annum para ma-service yung pangangailangan ng numbers. Ano ngayon ang annual income ninyo based on your fund?
Well, the latest, based on our 7%,
Ang actuarial?
ang ROI, return on investment.
Actual na yun?
Actual yun. So,
7.
so if you look at it, if you benchmark it against the industries, we're quite high. No? So, our net income in 2015, kasi wala pa yung 2016. 2015 is about 29 billion, more than 29 billion.
Excuse me lang, for the purpose of the media, magkano yung total fund ng SSS as of today? So they have an idea of what is 100%?
Yeah, as of October 2016, yung ating total assets amounted to 487.2 billion. Oo. Yes, we're quite liquid. Hindi namin sinasabi na walang pera ang SSS. What we're saying is, yung affordability, kasi sa ngayon, meron na ho tayong mga unfunded liabilities sa tinatawag. Sa bawat miyembro na naghuhulog ng piso sa SSS, ang aming obligasyon sa kanila ay hindi bababa ng 16 pesos. So can you imagine, that is the subsidy that we pay to the members, or every peso that you contribute, 16 pesos ang balik sa miyembro.
In time.
Not even kunwari ganito po.
Pag nilagay yung piso ngayon, pag nag-retire siya, 16 pesos makukuha.
Yes.
That's the point.
Yes.
So therefore, ang sekreto rito, paano kikita yung piso yung binigay ngayon para tumabla ka rin sa 16 pesos?
Tama po yan.
So yan ang second challenge.
Yes.
I think under the public must know, ano yung mga alternatibo nito?
So ito nga po, nabanggit na rin ni Chairman Valdez na ang isa sa mga gusto namin gawin right now is to invest in infrastructure projects. Kasi napag-aralan din namin ngayon, nakita namin, in Canada, for example, yung Ontario pension fund ng mga teachers, yung Teachers Pension Fund, ang kanilang investment nasa mga tollways, mga sigurado ang income nung bumabalik. Ito ay mga proyekto ng gobyerno na magtayo ng mga kalsada, may toll fee, ganon. At sila talagang sigurado may income sila at malaki pa. Sa atin, walang ganyang opportunity na binibigay sa mga pension funds to invest in long-term investments like that. For example, yung ino-offer ang PPP sa private sector. So sinasabi namin, bakit hindi payagan ang gobyerno na mag-invest din, pension funds to invest in projects like those.
So when are we going to see that proposed draft bill para makapag-input naman ng labor, employers?
Meron na kaming meron na kaming mga na-submit na mga proposed amendments to the law.
Ako may 15 in the pension. Kayo, anong draft nyo? May nasabit pa kayong draft bill of reforms?
Yes, meron na kami
Sino magkikerry na ng board? Sinong congressman, sinong senator? Para pressure natin to ako din.
Nasa lower house.
Nasa lower house. Bakit sa lower house? Senate, wala pa?
Meron din, may kaakibat din. Pero yung aming proposed amendment, hindi naman siya buong just certain sections like in the investment section, for example, yung nabanggit ko kanina tungkol sa pagkukundo, gano'n. So
specific lang yun, amendments. Teka muna, Susie, it concerns us public affairs. Nakalagay dito sa mga handouts, leaflets. Yung contributions generated by the employed, 87% sila nagbibigay ng contributions. Yung self-employed, 4% lang. Voluntary, 6%.
Distribution ng membership yan.
Contributions na nakalagay dito, contributions. Ang OFW, 3% lang ang nakakontribute. Tapos, ang sabi ko kanina, for transparency sake, ipaalam din nyo ang hardships nyo. Dahil ito yung good, all about the good things about you. Dapat i-declare nyo sa public yung difficulty nyo na 34 million nga ang members nyo, pero 20 million na nakikita na meeting. So parang goodies lang, di naintindihan nyo ng tao. Ang real picture. Na kaya kang ganyan, hindi ka makapagbigay dahil yung 20 million hindi nabibigay.
Okay. Alright, ngayon, meron kaming ginagawang pag-aaral kung nasaan itong mga to.
Oo.
Sino sila?
Ipakita rin yung mga bad aspects para matulungan kayo ng public sentiment. Yung public sentiment, so win over nyo na, kung vision 20 million na yun, na magbayad din.
So, itong mga to, merong unemployed, number 1. Number 2, abroad.
Kaya to set the real picture. Hindi lang yung the good face, but also the ugly face.
Oo naman.
Para yung
naman na sinasabi yan.
They can understand na, no? Ay, kasi pang PR lang yan, hindi ba?
Hindi naman. This is gusto ko lang din sagutin yung sinabi ni Alan kanina, na nabanggit niya na ano na nga yun, meron na wala tuloy sa isip ko. And then you were mentioning about yung mga endo kamo, yung mga contractual workers, sa totoo lang, mga contractual workers, covered sila. It's their contractor who is their employer. So kung sino yung kanilang employment agency, yun ang considered na employer. Oo. So yeah, regardless of whether you are a contractual worker sa construction, halimbawa, kasi yan ang sa aming pag-aaral, very rampant yung ganun sa industry ng construction. Halimbawa, so meron kang isang malaking contractor, gumagawa ng isang project, may mall, ganyan. Ano yan? Puro subcontract. That is our biggest headache. Kasi yung mga subcontractors, parang hindi mo na sila mahabot. Pero actually, under the law, the contractor becomes responsible for every, whether you are subcontracted or not. Kaya yung nangyari dun sa Eton, if I may just, point that out. Remember, there was a time na may construction doon, may nahulog na mga workers na matay, ganon. Subcontractor yun. Kasi kung sa construction business, iba yung nagkakabit ng bubong, iba yung naglalagay ng wiring ng mga electrical, iba yun, subcontract lang yan. Pero ultimately, the contractor is responsible. So, hinabol namin ang contractor. Yes, yung ganon. So, nagbayad sila, nabayaran nun, kasi actually, subcontracted lang yung service ng mga nahulog na yun eh. Ganon. But, meron pa rin. So, that's the beauty of our system na whether may hinulog ba na remittance sa'yo or not, but that you are able to establish an employer-employee relationship, ano yan, mananagot pa rin talaga yung employer. Ganun yan.
Maganda yung concepts, and I agree. But if you want the support of Congress, if you want the support of media, if you want the support of public, it must be more focused. In other words, tama yan. So what are you doing about the construction industry? Kailangan kayo, merong industry specialist. Yun lang ang tinututukan. But it also goes back to target. Anong target nyo? Hindi dapat, I'm planning to go from here to there. When? What quantity? What amounts? How efficient are you in investment? Sabi nyo, 7%. How is that compared to retirement funds handled by the banks or the private sector? Are they better or are you better? If they are better, baka dapat i-outsource yung iba. Ano ba yung proseso nyo to allocate? To which bank? To which specialist? Second, ang nagiging problema natin, mababa talaga ang yield sa fixed income. I agree with you on the PPP. Pero delikado rin yun. Delikado rin yun. My suggestion, if you want mas sigurado, is to be part of a government privatization. Pera ng gobyerno, dapat pag binenta yan, di maiiwan ng share that will accrue to SSS and GSIS and the retirement funds. Bakit? Pag-aralin nyo lahat yung privatize, yung nakakuha, ang laki ng kinita. Yung binayad sa gobyerno, day one, mura. So dapat, yan ang kailangan law. A certain part of all government privatization to solve, must go to, you have the option to subscribe based on your management. Bigyan ko kayo ng example. Magkano lupa sa Global City ngayon? 500,000 per square meter. Kung kasali kayo, dun sa original na nagsali, you got, say, 5% of that. And you kept it. Kasi long-term fund kayo eh. Magkano ang increase ng inyong yield? So these are just examples. Siguro, pagtulungan tayo lahat, come up with your menu of options, you can support. At being a former congressman, they're reasonable people. Kung hindi, pakikialaman sa inyo yung yield, pero hindi pakikialaman yung solution.
Okay.
And I think, I agree also with you, private funds ito eh. Tumulong kayo, pero hindi nyo pwedeng i-mantin kung magkano nyo babayaran. Ang babayaran nyo is based on the actuarial study. Otherwise, the plan will fail.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much. Yung pong, ngayon lang, for the information of everyone, yung ating pong investment reserve funds ay, as of October 2016, ay 470.1 billion pesos. Of that amount, ay 39% are in government securities, 23% are in private equities, 19% are loans to members. Ito talagang kumikita pero hindi ganun kalaki.
Oh, you're not supposed to make money naman out of the members.
So the rest are in bank deposits, corporate noted bonds, and in real estate. Dun sa BGC, we were fortunate to have some investment there. Yan ang gusto ko din i-point out kasi yung mga members natin, like sa labor sector, limbawa, hindi nila masyadong naintindihan na bakit parang dami yung lupa, hindi naman gumagana, hindi naman na-develop or something, hindi kumikita. Kasi yung po, ang SSS pa is a long-term proposition. So, yung ating investment, land banking po yan. So, meron kaming lupa, halimbawa sa BGC, na hindi namin pinatayuan ng kung ano, kasi ang amin dyan ay pinalalago namin yung value ng lupa and find the right moment to liquidate it later on. So, which we did in around, 2013 yata, yun, if I'm not mistaken. There's a piece of land that we sold. No,
pero maliit lang naman po, 20 million real estate.
Yeah, so we sold it for...
billion ba to?
Billion yan.
All
We
over the
sold
Philippines.
it for 2.34 billion.
Okay.
And 8,000 square meter in in BGC at that time. So that was kasi that time mataas ang value ng lupa. So we're also looking for the proper time. Hindi naman yan kara-kara
Sa tamang panahon. Okay, sa tamang panahon.
And then ibig sabihin yan, kung ano man yung ma-earn mo doon, meron ka ng paglalaanan din na mas malaki ang kikitain niya. Kunwari,
Yun nga, yung kikitain, ipa-flow back sa members. Yun ang hinihingi ng members. Dahil makita naman yung flow back naman sa amin, hindi lang kayo at ang nire-rewardan yung sarili nyo.
Talaga namang sa members yan. Hindi, kasi kunwari, tulad yan, ha?
Yan ang iniiyak namin noon, the past administration sa SSS, sila yung nagpasasa. Kaya ngayon,
in fairness,
because of the change, the 30 na, na-change na yun.
alam mo, in fairness, ang sweldo may batas. Hindi naman pwede sumweldo ng mas malaki pa dun kung ang nakalagay sa
Pero
batas.
nga yung difficulties ng SSS, since of the past administrations, and hopefully we will not see again those sins.
Ang masasabi ko lang, there was a point in time, prior to 2011, na meron tayong mga investee companies. No? So, lahat ng dividends pupunta talaga sa SSSL because they don't own it. If they sit there as director, they represent the interest of SSS. Now, yung mga halimbawa may bonus, nag-declare ng bonus para sa mga direktor, yun walang malinaw na rule tungkol doon. So there was a time when some of our board members who sat in these investing institutions, of course, got those bonuses because they also work in that company, no? So ngayon, nung naipasa na yung governance council for GOCCs noong 2011, dahil din siguro in reaction din to all the excesses na narinig natin sa MWSS board, for example, etc. Ganyan. So ito ngayon ay nag-set na ng limit.
Na-correct na yung defects of the law.
Tsaka lahat ng whether bonuses or anything like that, pupunta sa SSS, sa institution. So, ang maiiwan na lang sa kanila yung kanilang per diem. Yun na lang.
Wala na kami na ngayon. Wala na kayong problema sa amin. Wala na kayo atraso. Anyway, I open the floor to questions.
Yes.
Okay, Tracy?
Good afternoon. Good morning po sa SSS po. Ito lang gusto kong malaman kasi maraming mga may problemang empleyado. Ako po, I served the Journal Group of Publications for a long time. Nung sequestered pa siya. Ngayon, hindi binayaran ng SSS namin for I think hindi ni-remit nung sequestered pa kami. Ngayon, nag-file ng kaso. Kanya lang, how do we go about it? Kasi, hindi ka nakaalala record sa SSS ngayon eh. Tsaka, ngayon, bumalik na sa may-ari, sa mga Romualdez, nag-declare sila ng parang nalulugi sila. Nalulugi sila for the past 10 years. Tapos, nag-retrench pa noon. Marami silang kalokohan ginawa.
Okay. Ganun din ang naging problema sa IDC 13. Dahil sequestered, no? Sequestered. Pero ang naging problema dun sa 13, yung management ng company parang nagkaroon ng third party managers na si IBC, iba-ibang meaning ng IBC at that time, no? Pero ang nangyari, dahil iba-iba naman ang management group, hina-hire pa rin nila yung mga existing employees. So parang sa tingin nila, isa lang ang employer nila, yun pa rin at yun, but actually iba-iba. So that was a problem. So, pero that did not stop the employees from filing a case. And that's why we have a collection case against IDC 13, and which they are now paying. Okay, so unti-unti na account na yung mga contributions ng mga members. And you can do the same. No, you can still file, even if the company is no longer existing, for as long as the members of the board and the owners of the company are still there, we will go after them. Ganun po yun. Ngayon, ang isang common problem sa industry ng media, maraming mga halimbawa na lang, ang status niya ay contributor. ang bayad sa'yo per article, ganun lang, you're not considered an employee of the company although you exclusively contribute for that publication, halimbawa lang. In the same way also sa mga TV, radio, ganyan, talent fee basis, hindi sila considered. So parang they're responsible for paying their own contributions as self-employed persons. Parang gano'n. But not all of them realize that na gano'n pala ang status
Paano yan,
nila.
Susie?
Oo.
Kung ayaw magbayad ng employer mo, kami nabawasan.
Ano yun? Estafa yun?
Hindi, I mean, wala rin kami makiklaim. Susan, ako
Hindi, meron kang makiklaim.
Yung contribution.
Basta meron kang, basta no. For as long as you have proof that you were employed in that company for that period of time, meron ka pa rin habol. And we will help you. We will intervene for you. You won't even have to spend legal fees. Kami na yun ang hahabol. Ang kailangan lang namin sa inyo is yung proof na kayo ay naging employee doon. So kung meron kayong mga employee ID, meron kayo kahit man lang isa o dalawang payslip na natago ninyo during that period na meron na katibayan na binawasan kayo. Or even, for example, yung byline ninyo dun sa dyaryo, meron kang file na gano'n. Marami yan sa National Library.
Lahat ng idea mo na...
In our case, so sino may hahaglanan? In our case, sino hahaglanan?
Ihaplan ninyo yung journal.
Hindi.
Kung sino yung employer nyo.
Kasi at that time, hindi ang employer namin appointees by Malacanang.
PCGG sequestered.
PCGG kami.
Hindi, pero prior to PCGG sequestration, you were employed, right?
No. When I got into the journal, it was
It was already sequestered.
Yes. Yung grupo nila, Rudy Romero, De La Cruz, ang hindi nagbanyo ng SSS.
Pwede pa rin yun, kasi kamukha nung sa IBC, sequestered din yan eh. Tapos yung mga naging presidente, yung mga naging mga officers doon, mga appointed ng PCGG yun.
Nanalo na kami.
O yun nga yung kinasuhan.
Merit of execution, pero ang dineclare ng journal, walang pera, rugi kami.
Nanalo na kayo ng kaso. Hindi, kasi pagka naipasok yan sa SSS at nanalo kayo, kahit sabihin nila wala silang pera, we will sequester their i-attach namin ng property nila.
Actually, nag-garnish siya, pati nga yung pangalan ng tipo.
Sino nag-garnish?
I forgot, I just heard.
May baka may ibang claimants pa. Kaya gano'n. Kasi kung SSS, we will also do that. And then, yung contribution ninyo, maipopost na kasi may value yun eh. So kung magkano yung utang nila sa amin, we will garnish the equivalent amount also of property, kung ano man ang property nila, then we will post your contribution.
Sabi ko kay
Ganun
Duterte
yun.
ang Malacanang. Next question. Kaya.
Ma'am, Cedric Castillo po from GMA Senate.
Let's see.
Ma'am, linawin ko lang po, nabanggit nyo kanina, kahit na airing yung employer mo, considered pa rin na nakapag-remit yung empleyado. Kahit na sabihin natin delinquent yung employer. Basta merong proof na may case. Tama po ba, ma'am?
Yes.
Okay. Ma'am, ano pong legal remedy ang ginagawa ng SSS o planong gawin kung wala pa? Para ma-transfer sa inyo yung power to condone?
Kailangan ng amendment sa batas. So, we have already submitted that to Congress. And nabanggit din yata ni Chairman kahapon din sa press con sa Malacanang na isa yan sa mga gustong i-amend para mabigyan na rin ng power yung commission para mas maging flexible din. Meron siya sa resign. Pero yung kasing mga gustong magbayad, hindi sila makabayad kasi mas malaki pa ang penalty kasi sa principal. So kung sana mabigyan ng power na mag-condone.
Ma'am, hindi kaya maging ma'am, weapon ng employer para ma-abuse yung power of condonation on the part of employers kung ano naman kami, makondo naman kami sa huli, so hindi mo na kami mag-condone. Anyway, sa amin.
Ano yun? That power rests sa SSS, diba? Kung sakali man i-amend ng batas, diba? So it will be to the best interest of the employer to immediately settle. Kasi habang hindi sila nagbabayad, lumalaki ng lumalaki. Diba? So, of course, I think the commission, if that they are given that power, they will also have standards, they will have criteria for granting the condonation. Kasi kung Kung yung company meron naman talagang pera, may means. Pero ano lang, sutil lang, ayaw lang talaga nila magbayad. Eh ano yun, ibang usapan yun. Pero pag kasi natin nagpakita ka ng proof kasi nalulugi ako dito, so I had some economic problems, ganyan, no? Magpapakita naman yan eh. Kasi kung may mga utang sila sa bangko na pinarioritize sila kasi malaki interest. Pwede ganon yung ang mga criteria na pwede i-set.
So kailangan mo pa rin patunayan na hindi ka makasettle nung yung sa contribution.
Ako, thinking ko lang yon. Hindi pa, wala pa namang power yung commission to do that eh. So it's still in Congress eh. So ang iniisip ko lang, pagka nag-grant nga yung power, I'm sure magkakaroon ka din ng criteria para hindi maabuso, sabi mo nga, diba?
Meaning ma'am, may measures doon sa proposal niyo doon sa amendment sa law para hindi naman maabuso.
Kasi right now, for companies na nahihirapan maghulog, meron kaming installment plan. No? So, subject to approval din yan ng management, yung installment plan. Kasi ano yan paghirap talaga yung company, pero nakikita mo that they really endeavor to revive their business, tapos bayaran yung mga liabilities nila, yung ganon. Ngayon, kaya na namin, pero dahan-dahan lang. Hindi namin kaya yung biglaan, something like that. So, may mga ganong factors na tinitingnan din namin. At saka pag makikita naman namin sa record namin na itong company na to for the longest time was okay. No? Good paying company ito. So, pero meron din talaga, I'm sure sa labor sector, they can testify to that na meron talaga mga sutil na companies na for some reason, ayaw nila talagang magbayad lang just like that. Kasi, hindi pa lang ano mga rason. Oo, meron pa, nagkokolekta sila sa employee sila, tapos hindi nila nire-remit yun ay estafa.
Ma'am, yun po, tama po na bagay niya may mga sutilo na po. Baka kayo po or sila Sir Alan may datos. Doon po sa 20 million na hindi nakakapag-remit, malaking porsyento po ba nun yung dahil sa mga employers na delinquent?
Ang opinion namin malaking porsyento kasi ang malaking porsyento dyan dahil self-employed. Mga seasonal workers, kasama farmers, kasama fisher folks. Kasi nag-register kami ng farmers and fisher folks Oo. So, mga informal sector workers, katulad ng mga vendors, ganyan. Wala silang contribution sa employer. Ngayon, ang ginagawa namin strategy, kasi nakita namin na yung ating infrastructure, yung sistema natin, hindi friendly sa mga informal sector workers, na mga seasonal. Hindi mo sila pwedeng expect pumunta ng bangko. For the longest time, we did something together. We had a project with Dole noon na parang araw-araw alaw mo sila. Kasi kung titingnan mo yung drilling system in India, for example, araw-araw yun nagagawa nila yun. Yung mga magaling mga kolekta araw-araw, di ba? Yung mga utang. Ngayon na topic yun ngayon, di ba? Sa mga 5-6, di ba? pero ibig ko lang sabihin, that's how efficient they are in collecting. Sinubukan namin gawin yan, na nagkipag-mowa pa kami sa ilang bangko, na i-allow nila, but pagpasok pa lang ng isang vendor sa Divisoria, libawan ng isda, pagpasok niya sa bangko, intimidated na siya kagad, tinitingnan ka na from head to foot, anong ginagawa ito, nakachinelas ka lang, di ba? So what we did now, meron kaming inadapt na programa, it's called the Alcansya program, which was really geared sa mga informal sector workers. Meron kaming alkansya na nilalagay sa mga lugar nila. Halimbawa, like in Las Piñas, sa Las Piñas Vendors Association, may public market ng Las Piñas, may opisinang ang mga vendors doon sa taas na management. Andun yung kanilang alkansya boxes. So, sila, dahil wala silang oras, alas 10 ng madaling araw, nasa palengke na sila to catch the 4 o'clock customers, diba? So, pagdating ng 10 o'clock, tulog sila kasi wala silang tulog. Tapos mamayang hapon, yun na naman, di ba? So they have no time to go to the back or anywhere. They just go up sa taas, araw-araw maghulog sila kasi ang minimum na nire-require namin, 3,000 na salary. So dapat meron kang 330 sa katapusan ng buwan. So mga 15 pesos, ganyan, ang iuhulog mo araw-araw. Through the asosasyon nila, yung opisina nila. Pero meron silang individual coin boxes na naka-lock yan, naka-double lock lahat yan. 30 sa
Formal.
Hindi. Kung ang sweldo na gusto nilang hulugan ay 3,000. So sa 11%, 330 yan. Pero gusto nilang mas mataas doon, pwede din. In fact, they can afford to do that because they're earning even higher than 3,000. So nakita namin na very effective yun. Nahulog lang sila araw-araw, hindi nila nararamdaman yung bigat. Kasi 10 piso.
So at the end of the month,
At the end of the month, yung officers nila, yung kanilang auditor, yung kanilang treasurer, pati yung kanilang presidente, bibilangin yan. Meron kaming representative nandun, i-issuean sila ng resibo bawat isa. Kung may 200 na members sila, ganon. So yun, ngayon, meron na ngayon resibo, may report pa, dadali nila yan sa bangko. O kung minsan ngayon, very active din yung bayad center representatives, sila nang pupunta doon. Kasi parang, nandun kami to oversee. But the act of paying your contributions to the bank or whatever, ano yun actually responsibilidad yun ng tao. Kaya lang, para lang matulungan sila, kinausap namin yung mga asosasyon para less burden na dun sa individual. So ngayon, ang
SSS Alcancia.
Oo. Kaya nga.
Kaya bibigyan Alcancia.
Hindi. Ngayon, sila ang nagpupudos ng alkansya nila. We just give them the design kung anong dapat. So, in Quezon City, for example, yung TODA, there are 140 plus TODA association na Tricycle Driver Association. So, si Quezon City Vice Mayor donated those alkansya boxes to 100 TODAs. Para maging SSS member sila. So, nakita mo ngayon, sa mga terminal ng mga TODAs, andun yung point base naka-semento sa floor. So ano lang yun, hindi bababa sa 330 a month. Pwedeng higher. Kung gusto nila 10,000 ang basis ng hulog nila, pwede yun. Oo. So, gano'n na nga. So, that's why our self-employed membership has really grown. Dahil dito. Kasi mas madali na ngayon for them. They don't have to go to the bank. Pagtatapos sila magkain, hulog, ganyan, gano'n. Kaya very, convenient for them. So, we also tied up with big cooperatives. Yes, meron. Meron na nga kaming mga members ng TODA na nakautang sila na under the Educational Assistance Program para paaralin yung anak nila sa kolehiyo. So, nagte-testify siya dahil dito nakapasok sa college yung anak ko. Gano'n naman. Meron naman yun. Oo.
Sorry, nawala tuloy ako. Ma'am, sorry if I'm delivering ito, ma'am. So, as far as contributions is concerned, ma'am, hindi enemy number 1 yung delinquent, yung erring employers.
Siyempre, enemy number 1 namin yan. Nag-crackdown na nga nag-issue na nga ng statement meron kami ngayong Oplan Tokang laban sa erring employers. Oo. Yes.
Ano pong mandato, ma'am? Ipakulong talaga yan.
Yes, kasi sa under the law, it's not just fine. It's with imprisonment. Now, even if basta violation of the SS law, whether it's a estafa or iba pa yung estafa non-remittance of contribution, non-reporting of employees, imprisonment, prison correctional. Minimum 6 years, maximum 12 years in 1 day, gano'n.
Last na po, ma'am, under the new administration or under the leadership of Chair Valdez, ano po ang target na collection rate natin, ma'am? Kasi 14 billion yan out of 34, may plano ba tayong increase to 100% collection rate, ma'am?
Ang target namin for 2017, hindi ko lang maalala kung magkano, but it's much higher than last year's target. So hindi lang siya yung regular growth, kundi even beyond that. So kasi last year we were able to, magkano ba yung kinolet namin, nandiyan ba? Last year, as of the first 10 months of last year, we were able to collect 103 billion. 119 billion as of October. Hindi. So ito kasi, ito lang yung collectible based on the employed and then the self-employed na payee. Ganon. And the voluntary and the OFWs, yun lang yun. Oo. So, ngayon, ang target namin is much higher than that. Kasi ang benefit payment namin nung as of October, umabot na ng 107 billion, no, na for Social Security. Total of 108 billion actually. Pero we expect that to be higher kasi parang 2015, 120, if I'm not mistaken, 120 billion ang nabayad namin in benefits.
Do you have an idea how many yung employers na non-paying?
Ngayon, ang meron kaming kaso sa mga employers. So alam ko, may pending cases, parang mga 5,000. Parang ganon. No? If I remember it correctly ha. Kasi na-resolve na yung iba eh. May almost 2,000 ang na-resolve na cases. Iba na kaso na may arrest warrant na kasi na-decision na ng korte. Ang iba naman nag-settle. Ganyan. Kasi kung
7,000 cases na 2,000 na-resolve na.
Ganon.
So hindi pa lahat nakakasuhan.
Hindi pa lahat nakakasuhan.
Meron ka idea kung how many?
Kung ano yun, ang universe, wala akong idea kung ilan na. Kasi it's hard to say, no? Like for example, ngayon, makikita mo na ito hindi naguhulog, ito yung kanyang accountability, ito na theoretical assessment mo, ganyan. Tapos it turned out pala, itong company na to nag-merge with another company. Tapos hindi naman nila ni-report na sarado na itong isa, legally speaking, hindi na sila nag-exist.
Dapat parang correct yung sa dole.
Oo, hindi. Kasi maraming cases na ganyan. Like for example, yung mga banks. Yung mga banks. May problema kami sa lawyers na not enough. No? So, ngayon, syempre, balancing act din. If you hire, you spend more. Diba? Diba? So, you open more branches, you hire more people. Malaki din ang expenses. So, we try to keep our expenses down.
Aya, may tanong daw. Aya.
Ma'am, good morning po. Napakalaga yung tatanong mo dito. Grabe ito.
Parang kayo may built-in mic. May built-in mic ka din.
Hindi kasi yung aking communication sa SSS, ang pangalan ko Aya. Ang middle name ko kasi yan ang gera. Yung ko. Pero yung middle initial ko rito, Q. Saan ko ba dapat ipakorek ito?
Sa SSS?
Sa anong branch?
Kahit anong branch, humingi lang po kayo na...
Taga Manila po ako.
Dito ho. Diyan sa may pong
Arroceros.
Arroceros. Zen Tower ba yun yung aming building?
Ano isasubmit kong katibayan na?
Meron ho kailangan ho ninyo ng birth certificate.
Hindi na kailangan ng
NSO authenticated.
Ayun.
Kung wala kayo
Ang
nun,
problema doon.
Oo, ay laki.
Ang tagal na
Wala mo ang ID ko.
nabayaran na ho kayo ng pension. Nabayaran na kayo ng pension.
Hindi pa ako nag-retiro eh. Papakukurin ko muna bago ako nag-retiro.
Ayun, yes.
Kasi na-PO nakalagay, dapat with 5G. Kaya pag naglo-loan ako, may problema ako sa bangko.
Baka akala ng sulat ninyo na dapat QAG, akala Q.
Oo, ito. Carlos Arellano pa ho ito eh. Hindi pa yata uso, SSS nito eh.
natanong
Ngayon,
tanong mo.
ang tanong ko, kasi may dalawa akong katulong eh. Yung katulong ko, ako ang nagbabayad ng monthly contribution nila sa SSS.
In accordance with the law.
Magdadagdag naman tayo ng contribution, mabibigatan na ako. Tatlo ng binabayaran ko, yung akin, saka yung dalawang katulong ko. Siguro, ang solusyon ko, tatanggalin ko na yung dalawang katulong ko para...
Huwag naman. Magkano lang naman yun? Kasi ang sa ilalim ng batas, kasambahay law, pagka ang sinusweldo nyo sa katulong ay mas mababa sa 5,000, yung buong halaga ng contribution ay babalik natin ng employer. So sabihin na lang natin 3,000 yung sweldo ng katulong. 3,000 ngayon sa present rate, that's 330. Diba? So madadagdagan lang mo yan ng magkano? 1.5, hindi ako magaling sa math. So, yun lang ho, ang idadagdag doon, maliit lang. No? So, yun lang ang ano nyo, hindi pa abot ng 400 yun. Yung dagdag na yan, hindi pa abot ng 400 bawat isa. So, konti lang yung dinagdag nyo, pero you still enjoy the loyalty and of your helper, di ba? Malasakit. Ganun po yun, good service.
From abroad.
Good morning, Marlon Paxson from Journal Global in Chicago-based. Alam mo, Mariso, nakita ko doon sa Amerika, nagkaroon kayo ng outreach sa mga Philippine consulate. Yung 20% na hindi nagre-remit, aside from the fisherman, agricultural labor sector, ang isang pool na hindi pa nakatap na may kakayahan ng magbayad ay kami mga OFW. Sunod-sunod ang roadshow ninyo eh. At sa katunayan, meron kayong ginagawang office satellite na ngayon sa Amerika, Saudi, London. Kasi nandoon. Ngayong araw na ito, yung bayaw ko, pumunta sa SSS. Kasi nagtrabaho siya ng 7 years. Binayaran niya lang yung another 3 years. Ngayon na nag-retire na siya, bumabalik na rito. So mayroon ng pagbabalik. Kaya mababawasan yung 20% ninyong non-paying. So please continue on the outreach. And with the Congressman's recommendation, yung joint with the TUCP, si Alan, you are having really, what you need really is coordination and focus, sabi ni Congressman Diaz. Maganda ito, Icho. At by the way, yung W2 mo na nawawala, samahan kita sa recto, pwede tayo magpakopya ng page para makayaran mo yung employee pay stubs na nawawala para makakayaro. Anyway, congratulations sa inyo. And for the brighter side, sa Amerika, in 2030, actuarial projection, maaring pag-retire ko, 50% na lang makukuha ko. At 2040, baka wala na. SSS, sa Philippines, hindi pa kayo nag-default. At wala kayong actuarial projection na hindi kami mababayaran.
Meron.
Kailan?
May mga actuarial valuation studies kami. May mga assumptions na sabi nga na. So, kunwari ganito, if we pay the 2,000 without any corresponding increase in the rate of contribution, the funds will last until 2027. So, that's about 10 years. 2027 to 2029. Ganun po yun, 13 years. So, kung kaya nga yung ginagawa natin right now kasi it's at 2042. So, ang gusto natin, wag masyadong bumaba doon. So, itong 1,000 increase effective this month plus the 1.5% adjustment in the rate of contribution and in the maximum salary subject to contribution from 16,000 to 20,000, ang magiging effect ng yan ay 2 years na pagbawas sa fund life. So from 2042 to 2040. Kaya hindi masyadong masama. And that will also give us some breathing space at makakagawa pa kami ng mga measures na para talagang mas pahabain pa namin. Kasi using international standards in Social Security, the ideal fund life really is perpetuity, which means 70 years or more.
Okay. Okay. No more questions. I will... Ano naman?
Hindi kaya mas maganda para mapakinabangan ng mga SSS members yung kanilang mga yung tawag ko ng SSS eh. Diba, pinabubuwag na ni Digong yung 5-6 ng Bombay. SSS na lang kayo sa Makot.
Actually, meron kami talaga, clamor ang mga pensioners namin na gusto nilang umutang. Ano na nga, nagpe-pension na nga sila.
Bawal ba sa pensioners ang umutang?
Hindi.
Hindi sila qualified.
Hindi sila pwede. Pero, nakiusap kami sa mga bangko. No? Imbis na pumunta sila sa 5-6, kasi ang ginagawa ng ibang nating pensionado, and we have no control over that, no? Kung lalapit sila sa mga private persons, o kaya may mga nagpapautang, kukunin yung kanilang ATM. O, kunwari yung 1 year's worth of pension nila. Sabihin na lang natin, minimum pension is 1,200. Nagbi-minimum lang sila. Ngayon, umutang sila ng 10,000. Ang pinagpalit nila yung ATM nila, nagwi-withdraw ng 1 taon. So that's already how much? 1, 2 times 12 months. O, di ba? So, malaki yung kinikita. Minsan, hindi pa binabalik yung ATM. Tapos na, bayad na yung utang. Tuloy-tuloy ang pag-withdraw. So, maraming umiiyak na pensionado nung gagawin namin. Sabi namin, putak sa bangko, i-report mo yung ATM.
Stolen. Stolen.
Ganun lang. Actually. So, ang ano namin dyan, pinausap namin ng bangko, like PNB, na to allow pensioners to borrow from the bank. And then, ang ginawa nila, okay, we will allow you to borrow. Magkano ang pension nyo? Dapat your bank account, which is your pension account, must retain
daily balance.
A steady balance of 1,000, not lower than... So kung ang yung pension ay 3,000, pwede kang umutang ng 2,000 times 12 months. Halimbawa. So yun ang maximum mo na pwedeng utangin 24 ano. So meron ka pa rin na withdraw na 1,000 every month kahit na kaya nag-advance ka na ng 24,000.
Okay. On that note, we will ask our guest.
Jones Malulan from UNTV Radio. Ma'am, sabi niyo po kanina, ang average daily transactions is 180,000.
That's based on last year's
Opo. Tapos po kulang po tayo ng tauhan. Nasa ilan po yung mga tauhan natin at saka nasa ilan pa po yung kailangan para maibigay po yung talagang mas better service.
So ngayon, meron kaming 6,000 employees nationwide and some post abroad. Ganon. So, meron, hindi ko kabisado yung study namin on the parang ilan ba ang ideal number, pero yung titingnan natin ano ba ang ideal number of persons na pwede mong ikaw ang service officer namin sa isang araw, no, ilan mga mo masiserve na hindi mo minamadali at nakakaliwanag mo ng gusto. Dahil nakikita mo ang haba ng pila. Kasi meron din kami mga time and motion study. Kaya kung minsan, meron kami mga branches na alam na nila ilan ang pwede nilang bigyan ng atensyon na miyembro sa araw, sa isang araw. So, halimbawa, yung aming benefit counter, pag nag-apply kayo ng benefit, whatever it is, ang kaya mo lang sa isang branch, halimbawa ay 80 people sa isang araw. Kasi ganito lang yung number of people mo, 2 lang. So, sa loob ng 8 hours, ilang minutes ang bawat. So, meron na kaming ganung study, no? So, pag meron ka ng mahigit 80 people na punta sa branch mo, halimbawa 120, you turn them away already. So tell them to come back. Kasi hindi mo na sila, realistically, hindi mo na sila mabigyan ng attention. Ganon. So, paghihintayin mo buong araw, hindi naman pala mabibigyan ng attention. So, pabalikin mo na lang. So, meron din kami tinatawag na appointment system. So, pwede silang mag-set ng appointment para kinabukasan. Sila ngayon ang mauna. Minsan isang narinig namin reklamo sa mga seniors, mabira naman ng SSS. Ang haba-haba ng pila. Wala kayong siling. Ganon. Hindi na sinasabi namin. Lahat po kasi nag-a-apply dito. 60 and above. Kaya lahat po yan talagang seniors na ho. Tapos meron pa kaming persons with disability kasi disability benefit. Di mga ganyan, no? Maternity, ganyan. Lahat talaga kayo special. Ano magagawa namin? Isang lane lang talaga yan. Bawat isa. Nagkataon ang dami-dami ho ninyo. Di ba?
Violator of the senior citizen law.
Yung call center number po ninyo, hindi ko po na yan. 920-6446 hanggang 55. 24 hours po yan, Mondays up to Fridays. Pero actually, Saturday morning na po ang ang ending nun. So, as much as we want to make it 24/7 sa ngayon, hindi pa nakakaya, babayad kami ng ng overtime.
Okay. May habol si Mr. Trillion, Pat Santos.
About self-employed naman. Pwede mo i-devolve yung ibang duties mo sa barangay para ma-charge registration na ng self-employed. Can you do that para mas lumawak yung coverage?
Ang ginawa mo namin, meron ko kaming mga MOA with big cooperatives. Like for example, ang Card Inc. I don't know if you're aware of Card Inc. Card Inc. is a big microfinance institution nationwide with I think umabot na ng millions ang members nila na mga mostly farmers, fisher folks, mga small entrepreneurs in the rural areas, kanya nationwide po yan, Card Inc. Example lang namin yan, na we entered into an agreement with them para sila mag-provide ng administrative services. So, if they collect for us, ganyan, meron din silang may fee din kami na binabayad, sa service fee na binabayad sa kanila. So, ginagawa ko yan. Pati yung issuance kasi ng SSS number can be done electronically, online. So, pero pwede silang tumulong, mag-assist sa individual members nila ng kooperatiba kung paano gagawin yan, and they can also provide the internet connection and all that sa office nila na para lang mabigyan ng number.
Buong Pilipinas yan?
Buong Pilipinas. Kasi even abroad, pwede mo ma-access sa internet yung amin pong issuance ng number. So may ganun ho na sistema na iba-ibang kooperatiba, no? Meron din kaming agreement with the Department of Agriculture. Yung Department of Agriculture, meron silang parang training unit na nagpo-provide ng technical skills sa mga farmers. So meron silang regular na pagkikita, ganyan. Pati yun, sinama na rin namin, no? Para sa pag-cover nitong mga farmers.
Sinasabi ko yun kasi yung mga maliliit na vendor, gusto nila yun, kaya lang, hindi nila alam. Walang organisadong
Yeah, so that's why ang ginagawa namin through the associations. Hindi sa ngayon, hindi pa muna sa barangay. Kasi although ang barangay, partner namin sila sa pag-cover ng mga katulong. At saka yung mga din. Kasi pagka nag-organize kami ng coverage drives, ang mga barangay ang kausap namin. At dun mismo sa barangay center, barangay hall, kasi tinatawag nila yung mga kasambahay sa lugar nila, ganyan, na i-cover sila. So kami ang nagpo-provide ng services. So may tao kami, meron kami computer, online service, kahit na rin din, ini-issue namin ng number. Ganon. So kasama namin ng barangay dyan.
Okay. On that note, we will ask our guests to give their closing statement. So let's start now with Alan Tanhusay and Mr. Diaz and
Okay. Panghuli, napapasalamat kami sa Marichu for the organizer. Marichu, sorry. Sa organizer ng panel at of course, on the part of the Associated Labor Unions, the UCP, we thank the President Duterte for approving the pension increase. Sinusuportahan namin siya dito sa kanyang plan tukhang sa SSS para naman susuportahan namin ang SSS doon sa programa yun dahil sa tingin namin mauuna muna dapat ang reformang gagawin ng SSS para lumaki yung collection ng system bago po tayo sana pumunta doon sa pagdagdag ng premium ng mga manggagawa. Dahil po naman, intindihan po naman sana natin na yung mga manggagawa po, ang unang-una yung minimum wage nila po ay napakaliit na. Meron pang naka-impending na dagdag sa singil sa kuryente, dagdag sa singil sa water rates na nakaamba po sa sunod na buwan. So sa tingin po namin, bago po tayo mag-increase ng premium sa mga manggagawa, tingnan muna natin yung mga reforma sa loob ng SSS na dapat gawin para po lumaki yung pondo ng SSS. So maraming salamat at magandang umaga.
Mr. Diaz?
Thank you very much for this opportunity. I agree with the way to solve the problems for all the parties to cooperate. To make it easier for the public to understand, tama yung lumalabas puro aggregate yung numero nyo. Dapat yung formal sector, anong performance ninyo with regards to collection. Yung informal sector, yung self-employed, OFW, i-split natin. That way, if you analyze it that way, the approach and the solutions for each of the sectors will be focused. Then if you properly inform the public, they will be more cooperative. Kasi pag general lang yung excuse, ayaw natin tanggapin ng taong bayan ang general excuse. Babakbakan kayo talaga. So para tayo magtulong-tulong, sabihin nyo, itong sakit sa ganitong parte, sakit sa ganitong parte, at magtutulungan. And I think you have to cooperate with as many sectors as possible. Yung sinasabi po sa barangay unit, gobyerno yan eh. Pag inutusan niya ng DILG to do this, they have no choice. So yun, makakatulong sa inyo dahil makakatulong din sa mga miyembro. Pero ang aking final request, sabi nyo, 19% are for the benefits of the members. Kung ang inyong ROI is 9%, why don't you increase the 19% share of members, charge a little bit higher interest, so yung mga formal sector can avail of more loans. Bakit sila umutang in addition to education? Bakit hindi pambili ng computer, bakit pambili ng ganito? Kasi part ng inuutang nila, pera nila eh. Bakit natin ibinibigay sa iba kung yung member mismo, yung contribution niya, matagal na yung contribution niya dyan, bigyan natin ang pagkakataon utangin nun.
Okay, thank you very much, Marichu, for this opportunity and to make me a part of your kapihan for the first time. Dati nag-attend lang, no? So for the first time, ako ang nandito. Maraming salamat and thank you to everyone who are here for the questions that you asked. To gentlemen beside me, maraming salamat sa mga comments nyo. Yeah. Well noted naman po yan at lahat po ng sinabi ninyo, ginagawa naman po namin. Kailangan lang improve pa. Yun, kailangan talaga improve pa, no? So, ang gusto ko lang sabihin siguro dito lang sa sinabi nyo, Mr. Diaz, yung pautang talagang sa member lang naman po, pinauutang, wala namang iba. So, ang kailangan namin is actually efficient collection of loans, na outstanding loans. Kaya, gusto ko iparating na meron tayong loan restructuring program until April 27 this year, no, for those members who are not able to pay for one reason or another at naipon na ang kanilang utang, natagdagan na dahil sa penalties and interest, meron silang pagkakataon na i-restructure ito under lower interest rates and with the possibility of condoning the penalty. So, mako-condone pag fully paid. So, yan ay para lang for your information, you can tell everyone nakakilala ninyo na baka may outstanding loan balance. So, rest assured, then,
outstanding balance ng members, pwede nyo i-condone. Yes,
pwede i-condone, basta loans. Oo. So, pag sa contribution kasi, ang Congress lang ang merong power to condone. Oo. So, to declare a condonation program. So, ang cooperation, lahat naman po ginagawa namin. So, we're really trying our best to balance things out, to serve the interests of all our stakeholders. But sometimes, their interests are also conflicting. So, we really have to strive that balance. So, katulad ng nabanggit ninyo kanina, thank you for your comments, our efforts to reach out to the members who are already outside of the country and maybe residents in other countries that they were formerly SSS members. Like we have over 250,000 Filipinos yata, ilan bang nasa US, no? So, ang karamihan doon were formerly SSS members. So, yung effort namin to reach out, syempre binatikos naman ng PUCP kasi nagbabiyahe daw. Kailangan talaga dahil ang aming workforce sa bawat consulate office, isa lang. Isang tao lang yun, hindi niya kakayanin. We have one representative serving the whole of Canada to travel from the East Coast to the West Coast of Canada. You know how expensive that is. And wala namang entourage. Ang entourage lang, the people concerned, yung head ng OFW, ganyan-ganyan. Kasi sila yung magsasalita. Tsaka syempre, yung aming PCEO, kasi siya yung nagpo-convince, siya yung aming ambassador of goodwill. Parang ganun yun. So anyway, konti lang naman ang sumasama dyan. So,
Saka once a year,
at gumawa, at effective naman siya kasi tingnan mo yan.
Oh, meron
When we
endorsement
launched in
siya,
the
no?
US, kasi for the longest time, hindi kami makapenetrate ng US market.
Okay.
For the longest time.
So next target yung Middle East.
Actually, Middle East, okay kami doon. Mas may malaking presence tayo doon. We have 3 offices, kasi may mga consulates tayo doon sa Riyadh, sa Jeddah, at saka sa Al-Khobar. So, meron kami doon. Bawat isa may isang tao. Tapos sa United Arab Emirates, meron sa Dubai, meron sa Abu Dhabi. Tapos Qatar. Magaganda ang presence natin sa Middle East. Kasi ito yung bansa na hindi nag-o-offer ng social security sa mga workers doon. So, kasi they are kingdoms. So only the citizens of their countries are entitled to the benefits of the kingdom. Parang gano'n. Unlike in the US, in Canada, in Quebec, in Canada, we have a bilateral agreement actually na niratified na ng Congress na lahat ng mga members, mga citizens natin, even if they're dual citizens already, ay covered sila by the Canadian system. And then their citizens are working here are also covered by SSS. So, merong mga totalization.
Reciprocal.
Ganon. So, sa US, walang ganyan. Hindi nila inaagaw yan. So, then we have to convince them, our members who are there, na on their own, parang persuasive, na lang yan, to persuade them. So, yan sa mga efforts namin. And really, the challenge on us is really very big, no? Kasi may local meron ka pang ganun. So, pero, every little effort really helps in also growing the fund, no? So, I want to thank everyone for your attention, and sana kahit papano na napaliwanagan ko kayo, social security is really a very complex thing. It's not easy to communicate it. Even other countries abroad, the Western countries, first world countries, they have difficulty communicating to their own people the value of social security. Kasi nga, hindi pinapansin din ng mga tao while they're actively paying, or actively working, hindi nila kailangan. Pinapansin lang nila pag wala na silang trabaho. And by then, it's too late, no? For them to add more to their savings. So even in the US, they convince their citizens, kasi the replacement ratio is only 40% of your income, last income. But the good thing about the US system is they preserve the value because naka-index against inflation. No, parang hindi masyadong malayo. Then, offer sila ng mga annuity na parang on top of that, ito, pagka gusto mo yung lifestyle mo, na maintain mo, dapat
yun isasama nyo sa reforms nyo, indexation of the contribution and the
of the against inflation rates.
What contribution and
contribution, contribution lang to the index against inflation.
Dapat yung pati pension.
Okay, so it will follow. Kasi nga diba? So, but for those already receiving pension, it's too late because they pay bills.
Wala kayo sa charter na naka-index inflation. Okay.
So, tapos, sorry alam ko, tapos yung oras mo. Daldal ko pa.
Hindi, kasi sa kape.
Lunch na. Okay, so, meron akong point na gusto ko i-raise kanina na yung nawala Ganun talaga, hirap na SC na tayo.
Anyway, meron kayo ambush ka pa kaya?
Ganun ba? So, yung lang point na we have to balance things out. Na ayaw nga nilang gumastos kami ng gusto, it will take money to make more money. Alam natin yan lahat, diba? So, but of course, we cannot do that because hindi natin pera to. Pera ito ng ating mga miyembro. So, we really have to be prudent in the use of the funds, and we have to maintain our cost, maging cost efficient kami. But at the same time, yung challenge sa amin right now, from 7% sir na ROI, ang challenge is to increase it to 15 to 20% ROI. Ganun po ang challenge. So, well, actually under the law, SSS is allowed to invest abroad. But we have not done that, no, not yet. But if the time comes that it's really needed, then maybe, why not? If it will mean higher income for us. Diba? So if we could also raise our ROI to much higher than single-digit numbers.
Okay. Marisu, thank you very much for your time and effort. Hihingin ko itong mga fact sheet mo. Bigyan mo ako niyan para ma-depend po ang SSS. Maraming salamat po at that note. Thank you very much.